Welcome to WrenchWay Weekly, where we talk about the industry's hot topics, highlight the voice of technician, and use that information to help educate shops everywhere. If you haven't had the chance, please go out to YouTube and give our video a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. The topic for this week is what repair or maintenance is most commonly done incorrectly by those that haven't been adequately trained. And we had some funny stories come back out of this, and I've got some personal experiences when it comes to people trying to do that DIY maintenance or repair that they really aren't qualified for. Sometimes it puts people in a really bad position. I'll talk to why I feel like we can change some of that, and really I think it comes down to educating the shops. But our results came back that 65% said that installing electronics such as stereos, speakers, and remote starters were one of those issues that they saw with customers trying to do it themselves. The other 17% said changing tires or oil. It's kind of interesting to see how they can screw that up, but they do. 16% said other, and that other included diagnostic issues, brakes, things like that. And the last 2% said knocking out dents and fixing scratches. So as you can tell, the primary driving factor behind the mistakes that happen with customers trying to do their own repairs, maintenance, diagnostics are really kind of stemming from electronics, right? And I think some of it comes from how simple cars might have been in the past, and where you could snip into a 12-volt wire and hook your radio up, to where now you might hook into a communication wire and screw everything up and blow up a computer. There's a lot of harm that people can do, and I think when we look at this from the grand scheme of things, it's the education piece to consumers, right? And I think part stores really kind of drive home that DIY type of repair because it's a big piece of their business, right? They can sell more parts by selling directly to somebody that wants to fix what they have right now. And it almost kind of sheds some level of unfair kind of viewpoint on a technician. If I'm a parts store and I can say, hey, you know what? We'll bring it in here, we'll hook it up to the computer, up to the scanner, we'll tell you what's wrong with it, and then we'll sell you the part to fix it, right? Simple, except it's not. And there are so many cases out there where a customer will be kind of led to believe that they can do a repair and really not be accurate with that, right? Like there's so many advanced systems in a new vehicle or a new truck or a new piece of equipment that people shouldn't be touching them for the most part, right? And I think that kind of dives into an even deeper issue with trying to make sure that a technician's value isn't devalued, right? And by us talking about how plugging in a scanner can solve all your issues might sell a part, it doesn't help us really drive the professionalism of a technician. And it leads to some really expensive repairs. I'm sure every technician out there, I saw some of the comments that were out there on this topic about how a customer trying to fix it on their own ends up spending double the money that they would have if they just would have had it done professionally to start with. And I think when we look at how hard it is at times to sell labor based on what our labor rate is, we tend to kind of either adjust it down to meet the customer's need or don't do a good job at educating them on why a technician's time is so valuable, that a customer oftentimes can feel like they're being ripped off if they're charged just normal door rate. And that's wrong, right? Every shop has overhead expenses. Every shop needs to pay quality technicians. And the more we devalue that time, the more we're going to run into issues like this. And for you parts operations out there listening to this, I'm by no means trying to knock what you're doing. I totally get it. What I would ask is really try to help educate that consumer market more and more, rather than trying to just say that, hey, we'll plug it in, we'll tell you what's wrong, and we'll give you an O2 sensor and it'll fix your problems. Once that O2 sensor's rusted in, especially for those of us in the north, they break that off, then they have a world of other issues. But it's not just that. It could be something, simple, or that a customer thinks is simple. maybe a misfire and they go to replace the spark plugs, but the spark plugs are really hard to get to, and then they screw everything up. It's just not worth it. And that's where my plea to everybody out there is to really, really look at how you're selling diagnostic time. And that's not just shops. That's the parts warehouses. That's the, everybody that could be selling to that end consumer. We need to do a better job at understanding how valuable a tech's time is, and then kind of selling that accordingly. So one of the comments that we got was the most outrageous repair was someone stuck a home AC unit in the rear door window of their car. I guess it worked. Good for that person, very innovative. I don't know how efficient that is or how reliable that's going to be, but I think a lot of us have funny stories like that have been in industry and seen people that have tried to take that route and it just hasn't worked. So I do want to say thank you to everyone that provided feedback on this week's topic. Again, kind of a funny topic, but maybe one that I think when you start to look at it from a broader lens, really lends itself to having us as an industry adjust our message to technicians. As you know, if you answer our topic of the week in the WrenchWay Insiders mobile app, play our higher or lower game, you get to compete to win our weekly giveaway. The giveaway was a $100 Amazon gift card, and I want to shout out Full Bay for sponsoring the $100 Amazon gift card. They are an incredible partner of ours. We are so lucky to be associated with them. They are just a really, really good partner that I can't speak highly enough. But the winner of that $100 gift card was Dean McGee with a high score of 28. Congratulations, Dean. I hope you enjoy the $100 Amazon gift card courtesy of Full Bay. Dean also got a shot at the Queen of Hearts jackpot, but did not turn over the Queen of Hearts. So the pot increases again to $1,000. It doesn't seem like that long ago that we just gave away $2,400, and we're already back to $1,000. So if you get out there next week, you win that higher or lower game, you get a shot at that $1,000. It doesn't get much more simple than that, right? And you get that as a result of giving us feedback and letting us really use that information to try to make your jobs easier. So it's a win all around. I'd encourage you to go check it out. We have just posted new challenges, so go complete those, earn more points, play the higher or lower game, and try to win that $100 Amazon gift card. This week it is sponsored by our friends at Diesel Laptops. Talk about them a lot in the content that we do. Another really good company, similar to Full Bay, growing incredibly fast and just a really, really well-run operation. I'm a huge fan of Diesel Laptops in general, and they're a great partner of us here at WrenchWay. The WrenchWay Insider app is invite only, so if you'd like to receive an invite, you can fill out the form on the WrenchWay website or email us at info@wrenchway.com and we'll get an invite out to you. The topic of the week for this week are centered around really performance metrics, KPIs, how we measure how a technician is doing their job. And I'm very, very curious on this one. The question is, are performance metrics such as efficiency, hours billed, rework, etc., an accurate representation of the work you do as a technician? I am fascinated to hear the responses that we're going to get from this, because I think there's some that really, really feel that it is a good, accurate representation. I think there's a lot of people that don't think it's an accurate representation, and I had a lot of discussions with my own technicians over the years about this and trying to really make sure what we were measuring was what they were sold, and talking to them about why it's important and really kind of diving into it. And the funny part is there were times as a manager where we might get called out on something that wasn't accurate. And so as you dive into it, I was very transparent with my techs, and I caught an error when I was calculating efficiencies at one point. And it was kind of a one-time deal, but it did help me understand and really dive into it and really make sure that my head was into it when I was calculating those, because it's really important and it impacts their livelihood, obviously. So to answer this question in the WrenchWay Insiders app, you get points when you do that. You get to play the higher lower game when you do that. and you get a shot at that $100 Amazon gift card and that now $1,000 Queen of Hearts pot. Lastly, if you like what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and give this video a thumbs up. Check out the other videos that we've got out there. I think we've got a lot of really, really cool content, and look forward to seeing everybody next week. Take care.